We are entering into something of a class war. Rich against poor. It's no longer right versus left. The murder of the United Healthcare CEO has united a lot of people. Yeah, United Healthcare, there you go. United a lot of people because it's bringing to the forefront what an incredible shame and embarrassment our healthcare system is, paying for years on end and thinking that we have benefits waiting for us. And then just when we need that medication, that surgery, that treatment, then it gets denied. It's incredibly frustrating and even can be deadly. But I wanted to talk about the consciousness of the us versus them, the class war. When we buy into the us versus them, then we are putting ourselves in the category of victim and that there are forces that are always against me. It also comes from the idea of a zero-sum game, and it's the idea that when one person wins, the other one loses in an equal amount. And I could go deeper into the whole us versus them thing. I used to come from a place where I was very prejudiced against people who had money. I spent many years in that space. It wasn't a mindset. It wasn't a consciousness that I could thrive from. It was only when I started to get to know people with money and I realized how much I was stereotyping, how much I was judging, how much that whole energy of judging others was not the energy of prosperity. It did not lead to abundance. And I came to love and appreciate people, not look at them according to these stereotypes, but recognize them for who they actually were. You will find good people and bad people at every economic level. You know, when a poor person murders somebody else in stealing their wallet, when there are wealthy people who use perhaps even a business model to harm other people, we want to be calling that out, absolutely. But when we just say that being poor is noble and being rich is evil, and when we take on that consciousness, we are closing ourselves down to receiving. Why would we want to become that bad thing? Why would we want to be on that other side? Why are we even caught up in judging what somebody else has or doesn't have? When we're getting caught up in thinking that there is a zero-sum game and that more for somebody else means less for me or less for somebody that I care about. But I want you to imagine, if you have more, what would you do with it? What could you do with it? And when we start to see, oh yeah, when I have more, or if I had more, when I have had more in the past, oh yeah, I was able to help somebody else. I was able to maybe employ someone else. I was able to enrich other people's lives. I was able to take better care of myself. And when we recognize those as good things, we recognize that good can come of money. And the secret is activating this flow of giving and receiving and having our focus be on who we're helping, who we're serving, not on what somebody else has and being caught up with the judgment around that. And so I invite you into a higher consciousness and out of that consciousness of finger pointing and judging. And at the same time, we can say, hey, there is injustice going on in the world and I care about that. And we can call that out without necessarily making it all be about class, the millionaires and the billionaires, as Bernie Sanders would say. And then, as you noticed, when Bernie Sanders became a millionaire, and good for him, I think he published a book and the book did well and he's had some investments. And now he no longer talks about the millionaires and the billionaires. It's just the billionaires that are the problem. You know, the definition of rich is always somebody that has more than us, right? We can live in a space of acceptance for others, and we can be about our own business of giving and serving and opening ourselves up to more receiving and calling out injustice without getting caught up in the narratives of us versus them or assuming that this is a zero-sum game. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And by the way, I'm going to do a much longer video about the ways that you can reduce healthcare costs on even some alternatives to typical health insurance. If you are in a place where health insurance is super expensive for you, maybe you're self-employed like I am and there's not an employer that is paying it for you, you're not yet 65, then this may be relevant for you. Let me know in the comments if you want to know about healthcare. You can just put healthcare in the comments. Take care.